English horror voice narration, about 1000 words. AI voice YouTube narration, horror storytelling. Studio microphone horror voice narration, 1000 words. It was late at night when my aunt called me. Her voice sounded weak, tired, almost scared. She told me that my uncle had died, and she needed help in the village. A remote village, far away from the city, a place I had not visited since childhood. I didn't want to go, but something in her voice made me feel that I had no choice. The next morning, I packed my bag and started the long trip. The road to the village felt endless. The further I went, the fewer people I saw. Small houses disappeared, the forest grew thicker, and the sky looked darker than usual. By the time I reached the village, the sun was already setting. The place looked almost abandoned. Old wooden houses stood silently along the road. No children, no dogs, no voices, only the cold wind moving through the trees. When I stopped near my aunt's house, I noticed something strange. The neighbors were watching me from behind their fences. No one smiled, no one greeted me, they just stared, as if they knew something I didn't. My aunt opened the door slowly. She looked older than I remembered. Her face was pale, and her eyes were full of fear. "You came," she whispered. "Good, I didn't want to stay here alone." Inside the house, the air felt heavy. It smelled like dust, old wood, and something else, something I couldn't recognize. I asked her what happened to my uncle. She didn't answer right away. She just looked toward the window, as if she was afraid someone could hear us. Finally, she said quietly, "He shouldn't have gone into the garden that night." I frowned. "The garden," she nodded slowly. "There is something there, something that should not be there." That night, I couldn't sleep. The house made strange sounds. Wood creaked, the wind howled, and sometimes it felt like someone was walking outside. Around midnight, I heard a noise near the window. At first, I thought it was just the wind. But then I heard it again. A soft, slow sound, like footsteps on dry grass. I stood up and looked outside. The garden was dark, but the moonlight showed the old scarecrow standing near the fence. It was tall, made of sticks and old clothes. Nothing unusual, but something felt wrong. I was sure the scarecrow had been closer to the tree before. Now it was standing near the path, facing the house. I told myself I was just tired and went back to bed. The next morning, I asked my aunt about the scarecrow. She froze. Her hands started shaking, and she told me in a quiet voice, "Do not go near it." "Why?" I asked. She looked at the door, then whispered, "After your uncle died, it started moving." I laughed nervously. "That's not funny. I am not joking," she said. "The villagers have seen it too." Later that day, I went outside to check the garden. I didn't believe her. I thought she was just scared because she lived alone. The scarecrow stood in the middle of the garden. Old hat, torn shirt, wooden arms. But when I came closer, I noticed something strange. The ground around it was full of footprints. Human footprints, as if someone had been walking there at night. I suddenly felt cold. That evening, the villagers stopped me on the road. One old man grabbed my arm and said, "You should leave. This place is not safe anymore." I asked him what he meant. He looked toward my aunt's house and whispered, "Your uncle made it angry." "Who?" I asked, but the man didn't answer. He just walked away. That night, the knocking started. 3 slow knocks on the door. I thought it was my aunt, but when I opened my room, she was asleep. The knocking came again, this time louder. I walked to the front door, my heart beating fast. "Who was there?" I asked. No answer, only the wind. Then I heard a whisper. Right behind the door.